they're all three boys are huddled up in this little corner like this because they're scared to death. They know they've done wrong. They already the officers ask, later, you did a wrong thing. Yes, we know. But they're all huddled up together, but the cops have their guns drawn. And they're making them lay down on their belly. I don't know. I know cops are taking a huge risk. You don't know what today's 12-year and 11-year-old and 8-year-olds, if they have guns, if they're doing something. You don't know. But it upset me to see kids like that handled that way. But I understand they had to. It just upset me.
They're doing their job.
They got to
protect themselves. They got to come home at night,
Yes, and I'm not faulting them in any way. I hate to see that happen to children.
Yeah.
Because they're still kids.
But what happens is, Teresa, sometimes when they're doing adult things, you have to treat them that way until you get them out of that situation.
You absolutely do.
Get them out of that situation.
They don't say which one, but one boy says, I'm sorry. Can you call my mom? The other boy says, are we going to jail? And then they were like, you're going to be detained. And then he's like, oh my gosh. But while they were in custody, I think it was the 8-year-old.
This is the best part.
Wanted to know if Santa was still going to come and bring presents, if that was going to affect him getting Christmas presents from Santa. And I was like, if that doesn't put that in perspective, that they're still just, especially the 8-year-old, who I feel like was just along for the ride. I mean, you see somebody doing something bad, and you're like, I can either run home or I can, go with. 8-year-olds split their reasoning is probably not the best in the world, because they're the ones that'll still get the cookie after you've been told not to get the cookie, and I felt that just my heart went, oh, that poor baby. He stole a car and wants to know if Santa's still going to come see him. Oh, gosh. Bless his little heart.
The police said that they all showed remorse. They all knew that what they had done was wrong.
Can you imagine those parents going, we have to pay for that car?
Well, not only the car, but remember, it crashed into a house. I mean, it doesn't really get into any just
claims adjuster
great description. That's right, exactly. And then we'll have to subrogate the 8 and 11-year-old.
You better get into JOB.
Here's the thing. See, insurance is probably wouldn't even cover them, although they are minors. So there are certain ways that the laws treat minors that are different than the way they would treat an adult. Mm-hmm. But there's a good possibility the insurance might not pay it because that was not an accident. That was an intentional act, and most of those times, those things are excluded in your
That's true.
policy.
I mean, it.
I know that's probably the least of the worries, but
meant to crash though. I think it was because they don't know how to drive.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't mean to steal the car, but we did.
Meant to steal the car. They just didn't mean to crash.
Yeah, and we didn't mean to, get stopped by the police and
have
vacate
them draw their guns on us.
Haul butt out of the car.
All right, it's 8:20. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, famous singer.
I know.
From the 60s and 70s has been diagnosed with cancer. We'll talk about that. And also, Calera PD is reopening a cold case. We'll talk about that when we come back. So y'all stay with us. You're listening to Morning Mayhem here on Papa Peach Radio. Teresa and Mike broadcasting live from the Clayton Tractor Studio. Stay with us. Workout Anytime in Clanton is now open. Your fitness, your schedule. We have top-of-the-line treadmills and weights, but we are more than just a gym. We bring luxury and results to your fitness routine. Relax in our sauna. Recharge with red light therapy. Refresh in our hydro massage beds. Get that glow with unlimited tanning and push your limits with dynamic classes. Need guidance? Our personal trainers are here to help you set your goals, stay motivated, and get real results. This is your space, your time, your transformation. Open 24/7. Workout Anytime, now open in Clanton.
Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you. Whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss, Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Chilton Mobile Home Parts and Supply is your go-to destination for top quality mobile home parts and supplies in Clanton, Alabama. Conveniently located at 14023 County Road 29, just 3 miles east of Thorsby. We offer a diverse inventory, including underpinning, doors, windows, faucets, tubs, setup supplies, and more. Our commitment to quality ensures you'll find the best solutions for your mobile home needs. Upgrade your space with stylish doors and windows. Enhance functionality with top-notch faucets and tubs. All conveniently available in one place. Visit us today or call 205-646-1949. Transform your mobile home with Chilton, where quality meets convenience.
Not the editing.
We are back. The time is 8:24. You're listening to Morning Mayhem here on Piper Peach Radio. Teresa and Mike broadcasting live from the Clanton Tractor Studio. We were talking about editing. You heard that coming back. We did our Christmas special, and Baden has been in there, a little worker bee editing, which is why we haven't taken this many breaks. He hasn't come in here to make sure that we're staying on time. He just letting us go through. But one of the things that Baden got tickled at whenever he was going back, all the audio is saved unless we stopped it. So everything we were doing, even when we weren't recording, is still recording. He was like, I'll just take out what I don't want. And they had that camera set up a certain way, and it kind of looked like it was sort of looking up at me. So you can see it. My face looks like it's like this. I feel like I got 4 chins. My outfit looks like I'm this big, like I'm just, and I took a look at that. I went, no, we are not doing this. We are redoing that. And he said he got so tickled watching me get so fired up and having a meltdown over, the way I looked. So we had to redo it like 3 times before I was happy. And then Taylor's in there doing the cooking segment of it, of a recipe that you can use, doing leftovers. And she's like,
turkey leftovers.
What she was doing was filming the intro and telling you the steps before she'd actually done the steps. And so she was like, and then I'm gonna tell you step by step, but I can't tell you because I've never made this before. I don't know what the steps are yet. And so her just talking, and of course none of that made it. Obviously, she had to redo it a bunch of times. But she's in there kind of having a little bit of a meltdown too, because trying to edit it and make it look right and film it and make it look right. He got really tickled at her as well. But I don't want to look like a blimp.
Well, no, everybody wants to do their best and look their best. That's understandable.
So,
that's the magic of editing that you were talking about.
No. We're gonna delete that and we're gonna start over. I was not having no part of that. I told you we were talking about a famous singer that has been diagnosed with lung cancer. Barry Manilow found out that he had cancer after he went to the doctor and was diagnosed with bronchitis. They found a place on his lung. And when he got well after the bronchitis, they have him come back in, do the biopsy, send it off, and it was lung cancer. So he is actually going to have surgery, and so he has postponed his 2026 farewell tour. So
He's been around a long time.
he has been around a long time. You know, Copacabana. You know, the first time I ever saw him was on American Bandstand, I think.
Okay.
As far as, and that was a long, that started a long time. I remember when American Bandstand had the Bay City Rollers on there, and that was in the 70s.
Dick Clark still hosting it back then?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Back when you saw it?
Yeah, he was American Bandstand.
He was the man, that's right.
He was American Bandstand. And matter of fact, I watched the very first time American Bandstand. I saw it where they had ABBA performing. You know,
They like Swedish,
something like that.
European,
it had
Scandinavian.
Another one they had on there was the BG that passed away.
Gibbs. Andy, yeah.
Andy Gibb. Is it Gibb or Gibbs?
Gibbs.
Had him on there. I remember when, Sean Cassidy, Leif Garrett, all these, heartthrobs back in the day that did music were on there. And I look back and you can find some of that stuff archived, and you're like, wow, at the outfits.
You remember the show, as there was a part of the show where I would say kids, they're probably young adults, and some kids were dancing.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would like line up, and they would have like a little, I don't know, I call it a dance off, where two people or maybe one would come through the line, and then the next one would come through the line. And there was another show that had a lot like that, was Soul Train. Oh, man.
Soul Train. Oh, what was the guy that did that?
Don Cornelius.
He had the best voice.
He did. Oh,
I loved watching that show. The outfits on there, holy moly!
Let's see.
Interesting. So interesting.
Was Ultra Sheen Cosmetic? I don't know. I just remember him because it was his voice. The commercials he did, it used to, it was just stuck with me.
Yeah.
But there was a couple advertisers that they had that he was really good, and I don't know. I was always remembering it for some reason. But they also had the dance off too, and like you said, they were always, not every kid, but a lot of kids were dressed to the most latest fashion, and you could say, hey, I like those bell bottom pants, those yellow bell bottom pants, that's what I want a pair of those.
Those high heel clogs for men.
Yeah, I told you I found mine, and I was looking I found my clogs.
I guess they called them
platforms. That's right.
Yeah,
and,
men's platforms.
Yeah, I always joke I was 5'11" in high school,
When you had those
when I wore them on, when I wore them, yeah.
I think that was that way for a lot of folks. I mean, that was the thing to wear, and so you seem so much taller than you were.
Oh
when
my
you're
gosh!
walking around like that.
I look at them now, and I'm like, how did I not, twist an ankle every day?
Well, I wore clogs, and I have twisted my ankle. Matter of fact, wearing a pair of clogs broke my foot. Twisted my ankle, fell down some steps, broke 3 toes and my foot in 2 places.
Oh, that just hurts to hear.
And do you know what the doctor said? Do you know he goes, what were you doing? And I said, well, I was trying to carry some luggage down the steps.
I was walking.
I was walking in these clogs and my foot twisted. And he said, do you know how many women come in here with broken ankles, broken feet, and broken toes from shoes? He said, just about all of them.
Just trying to look good.
I mean, he's like, so you're not the only person that has done this. But I felt like it because I'm telling you what, I didn't think that thing was ever going to heal.
But I'm afraid, if I clean those shoes up and put them on, that they'll just disintegrate. They're 50 years old. Some of them.
They could.
Yeah.
They really could.
Yeah.
You don't really, if you want to keep them. I mean, sometimes vintage clothes, they last a long time, but other times, depending on the elements, where they've been stored, how they've been stored, will determine, if they're still usable. But I bet if you're that worried about it, get a glass case or at least a plexiglass case and put them
Might
in there.
just find a trash can for it. Not sure yet. I hadn't decided.
The case is a trash can.
Yeah.
We told you that we would talk about the cold case that Calera Police Department is reopening. They are working in connection with the FBI. The cold case of Julie Danny Ray, who disappeared 10 years ago around Christmas time. So it was about 2015 when that happened. She was last seen in Calera on Christmas Eve. Her father, Richard Bradshaw, said the last time he heard his daughter's voice was that day. And he said it's an answered prayer that they've decided to reopen this case. He says he sat many Sundays, Sunday nights, and Wednesdays in a church pew praying that this day would come, that they would, look back into it.
Well, God's timing is perfect.
Yep. He said when they called him and told him that they were reopening, he said, I just fell to my knees. The problem is the last witness to see her alive has since passed away. But he says he believes someone does have information.
That's what I was going to say. I believe that too.
To his daughter's disappearance. And I think now, you got, even 10 years ago, we are so far advanced from 2015, even now, to what they can do. So if they've preserved any type of evidence, where they think she might have been seen, the last place anybody saw her, re-interview witnesses, it's amazing what time will do.
Yeah.
And I do think that they will solve this case.
Well, even in a case like this, DNA could be a big factor. Mm-hmm. Maybe her dad has something that has her DNA on it, like a hairbrush or something. I don't know, but something like that. Then they can compare that to anything else that might have happened. In those 10 years since, whether it be committing a crime or something else. What are these companies that do the DNA analysis? Mm-hmm. 23andMe, and then something else. There's another one, I think. There's another big one.
Well, I had mine done through MyHeritage.
Okay.
And I think you're talking about Ancestry.
Yeah, that's it.
Ancestry.com or something like that.
I think that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Well, I did mine through MyHeritage. I sent my DNA in, and it came back, and so they have it there. So if anything ever happened to me, they would have my DNA.
That's what I'm talking about. They could compare records and perhaps.
But what I found out, and I talked to Garrett and I talked about this yesterday, was not only through my DNA, I found out my heritage is like so much percentage English, and the other, like I'm 38% Welsh, Scottish Welsh. And then I've got another percentage, like 8% that's Irish, and then like a 3% that is something else that has to do with Welsh Celtic. I mean, it was really neat. So that's, my ancestry is, because everybody that's here came from somewhere else.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm watching, hubby's got this I don't know if it's a miniseries or if it's just a series that he's watching. It's called The English, and it's got what is her name? I can't think of her name off the top of my head. But anyway, it shows all the characters in there just about have different accents because they all came over from somewhere else,
right.
And they're trying to settle there, and they're over there trying to take this land from Native Americans that were already there. And that's where a lot of, I don't know what we thought we were doing coming over and trying to take something that wasn't ours. Because a lot of the Native Americans says, if they had come over and said, we're here too, would you share your land with us? Can we buy some land from you? Show us where you would be okay with us settling. But they didn't do that. These people came over and they were like, we're gonna settle here. We're gonna take your land. We're gonna run you off. And that was just, based off of this and what I've learned through history, that's kind of the way we did things, which is wrong. You don't do that. But anyway, that I say all that to say that everybody comes from somewhere else. I thought that I would have some Native American. I have zero. My kids have a quarter. They're quarter.
Okay.
But that's from their biological dad's side. So their grandmother, you look at her and you can say, oh, yeah. She looks like she's probably, I'd say around 50%.
Yeah, my dad looks like he has a lot of American Indian in him because his hair was absolutely, I mean, it's silver now, but it used to be jet black.
Jet black.
I mean,
My dad's was
that's just the way it was. And um, kind of a darker skin like a lot of Native Americans have. But I don't know that we want to debate this. I really don't. But I will say this: we came over, or at least settlers came over, and my take on it. We came over, and yes, there were Native Americans here, but even as there is today, there's still plenty of room for a lot of folks.
Exactly.
If we want.
Exactly.
And you're right. Maybe it wasn't approached exactly the way it could have or should have been, but I mean, even the Native Americans were literally fighting against each other
Mm-hmm.
and taking over other tribes' land.
True,
I mean,
true.
it wasn't like it was unique, and frankly, that's just world history.
It is.
You know,
You're
somebody
right. You're
discovers
right.
something,
Yeah.
and they're like, "I want some of this," and then the people that are
Well, I
there
want some too.
resist it, and they end up fighting, and then whoever is the stronger side wins, and we had the stronger side. I mean, it took a while, and we have the benefit now of 400 years perspective that they didn't have back then. So we can look at it and say, yeah, it should have been done differently, and it should have, but it wasn't. But at the same time, I mean, we've done quite well as the United States of America with the melting pot that we
Yeah.
call it. And I want to say this about your DNA analysis. It's all one big island
Yep.
where you came from, all your family, and it's mostly made of coal.
Mostly medical. One of the things about the DNA that I love is because it helps solve crimes in a way that you wouldn't think. So, let's say you find DNA at a crime scene. It doesn't match anything in a database showing that it matches up with other crimes or that anybody has had their DNA taken for anything as far as breaking the law or whatever. And then you've got, let's say it's me. I go and I submit my DNA just because I'm curious. I want to see who my family is. Well, they're running this DNA and they get a hit. And they see that this DNA
That your DNA
and
was
the person's DNA that committed a crime or was found at a crime scene match a certain percentage. They can determine, who you are based off. You have to. This is a certain percent, so it has to be a cousin. And then you start looking into that person, and you ask them to come in and do a DNA sample, and it turns out that they're a match for what they have that was undetermined at the time. So that is how that stuff works.
Right.
For the good. And there was a girl that did it, and she helped solve a crime, and it turned out like I can't remember if it was an uncle or a cousin committed the crime, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like the person that did this is related to me."
I saw that just the other day.
Yeah, it was wild, and I was like,
Like a serial killer, but he's like in his 80s now.
Yes.
I guess he could still go to prison.
Yeah.
He should. But
That's right.
that's what I was talking about. The case in Calera, that maybe there was some DNA that they didn't know who, that unidentified.
Mhm.
And I would like to think that every now and then they would check the database, as you called it.
Yeah, and I
which
think they do.
I'm sure
I
they
think
do.
have somebody that goes in just like, let's just run. We've got these cold cases here. Let's just run the DNA. We've got these, and let's run it. But the thing is that you have only so many companies that actually can
Analyze it.
process and
Yep.
analyze
Mhm.
DNA.
Right.
And even then, things can happen. It can get contaminated. Things can get crossed up. It can be, not 100% match. It can, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Oh,
It's
I do. I do.
It's more of a probability than and a possibility than a for sure thing. It's just, I don't know. But this is what we have, and we have to. I mean,
Make the best of it.
this is as exact science as you can get at this point.
At this point, and it's still, as I think you said this earlier, it's still in development and they're learning how to do things better. And you said, like the young lady who disappeared in Calera 10 years ago, what the advancements have been in those 10 years, you know, and that's what I was getting at was sort
Yeah,
of,
because we
or at
didn't
least I
have
was trying
that
to
10
about
years
the
ago. Or
no,
if we did, it was just on the breaking edge of it. So now we've got it, and it can. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna solve this case, and I think you'll find out probably within the next 6 months to a year because they're reopening it. You're gonna have some people that are just gonna feel compelled to come forward. Testimony's gonna change. Different things are going to change. Somebody knows what happened to that girl, and they'll find
Yeah.
her. They will
Yeah.
find her. There's another girl that went missing out of Riverside. Her name was Kelly Howard, and this happened years ago. She was a dental assistant at the I think it was Pell City Dental Clinic, and the dentist that owned that was always under a heavy cloud of suspicion for her missing. Well, they never found her body. They basically, and I want to say, I don't know if he ended up getting arrested or what happened with it, but he ended up dying from a heart attack. And I don't know, they still to this day don't have 100% certainty what happened to her. They have their suspicions,
right.
they have their conclusions that they've come to, but they've never been able to prove with no doubts what happened to her. And she's still missing to this day. They don't know. They presume she's dead, obviously,
Yeah.
because I think she left behind, family and children and all that. It's just a shame that they never will, probably will never know on that one.
Probably hundreds, if not more, cases just like that where
Yeah.
they're just unsolved. And like you see, you just need that one person to come forward with the information they have.
Mm-hmm.
But, like this poor father, it's been 10 years.
But, I watched.
He's just that much closer, to his reward. And you just go, wow,
I watched.
am
this
I ever
thing.
going to know?
Yeah.
For sure.
It's been probably 3 weeks ago or so now. There was a guy that he thought he was pretty sure he had information. And he called the police. It never got followed up on. He called the FBI numerous times. They had documentation of where he called and said, I am positive that this person
Committed this crime.
Had something to do with it, blah, blah, blah. And it took them years later, they finally came and talked to him after they had exhausted every other lead. If they'd have come and talked to them in the beginning, that case would have been solved way before it was. And I'm just like, how does that fall through the cracks? I think it's because these detectives have more cases than they can handle.
Well, it's certainly overworked, and I like to believe, and I'm certain that it's the case, at least 99% of the time, that they have the best intentions, and they're doing the best that they can. And
well, I think a lot of times too, you have detectives that move on. Their cases get put on somebody else's desk. They retire. They've taken a job somewhere else, And I think that when that happens, you almost have to start over.
Well, and that's what it takes sometimes, is a fresh set of eyes, or sets of eyes, new eyes to look at things, and maybe that's what Clear's done. And we wish them the best, and hope that we can give some closure for this.
I think they will. I feel it in my
still
gut.
grieving father.
Clear is a very small town. In 10 years ago, there's stuff there. There's stuff here in Clear now, because that's where I live, that wasn't there 10 years ago. It's completely evolving, but it's still a small town. Clanton is bigger than Calera.
Well, they're both. I just look at their, and I don't mean to take everything back to athletics, but you look at their classification, their school. They were 2A. They won some state championships. They had a real good basketball team. I forget how many years ago, several, but they were like 2A. Now they're 6A and about to be 7A. I mean, they're about to be classified as one of the largest high schools in the state.
Which is crazy.
Well, it's just it's an area people love to go. I mean, you're there now. I don't know how long you've lived there, but
I've just been out there. Now I lived there when I was little.
Okay.
I went to 3rd, 4th, and part of 5th grade at Calera Elementary. And when I tell you I'm 57 years old, so I was, that's been 40, almost 50 years ago. Some of it. I mean, when I tell you there was nothing
Oh,
out there,
I know all about, not all about it, but yeah, it
There
was
was-
very small town.
there was a grocery store that we had. I can't remember what it was called to save my life. I want to say like Save More or kind of like a Save More or a Associated Foods or something like that.
Used to have Big Bear was a chain back in the day.
It was something very small. There was the post office, and I still remember going to the post office with my daddy because we had we didn't have mailboxes, and your address was a route box something. It was route 2 box what, a route 1 box whatever. Those were the addresses.
Yep.
Now they have street names and but
County
you go
road
to the-
numbers.
You
Yep.
go to the post office and you had the old fashioned, you know, it had the little knobs on there. Do you know what I'm talking about? You've seen an old post office where it's, you know, it's
Were you
kinda
buying stamps or what were you
gold.
doing? What do the knobs do?
The knobs were on your box.
Oh, okay.
You know, they
You had
were
a
old.
combination lock?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking
I
about?
don't know if it was combination or if it's a key or what, but the knobs to open it it was real small knobs, and you open it. It was very old looking, like from the 50s or 60s. You have to go back and look at like an old
or
post
older.
office and see.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, but I remember going with him, and I just always was so amazed. It always smelled like paper, you know. It always smelled good. We had Cowart's drugstore, which is still there.
Still there. Yeah.
And
What was
then-
across the street from Cowart's? Do you remember? Yeah, he did a great radio commercial.
Well, it's
Furniture
not-
guy?
Yeah, he's not there anymore. It was.
I
Was
know.
it Parnell's?
Bobby Bowden.
Bobby. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember now. They tore that whole thing down to make room for that Clara Square. But they also had there was a Dairy King, I think. You couldn't go inside and eat. You had to walk up to it and get your
To the
hot
window,
dog or
walk
through
to the
your
window.
and get your soft serve ice cream and all that. But I think that's the middle school right there. That used to be the high school.
That's right.
And now the high school is
It's like a college campus, doesn't it?
yes,
It's huge.
it's humongous. That's wow,
Very nice.
very nice out there. But it's still, you know, considered a small town, even though it's got that one area on that one exit that's kind of grown up a lot. But yeah, I do think that they will find her. They
Well,
will find out what happened to her. Let's put it that way.
there was a case, the new FBI director is Kash Patel, and there was a case back that occurred. You remember the January 6th where there was the protest at the Capitol, and the news media portrayed it as an insurrection. You know, that all these people.
And
were-
people got arrested and went to
well,
jail.
oh yeah, they
were
did, and
convicted.
some of them were prosecuted selectively, I think. But there was a gentleman that, and they had him on video, but it's one of those things where the video was kind of grainy, and you really couldn't see for sure who the person was, but they knew that it was a male, and he planted a couple of, I don't know if they were pipe bombs or what, but he planted a couple of bombs, and they were able to intercept those bombs before they exploded, and that was the day before this January 6th, and they just arrested him. That was back in 2020. So 5
Yeah.
years later, they arrest this guy, and to hear Kash Patel and the FBI now, they were like, well, we've had all this evidence for 5 years. I don't know why this person wasn't arrested. I don't know either. I'm not pretending to know, but somebody must have felt like we just didn't have quite enough to get a conviction, because it's like you mentioned earlier about the tipster that kept trying to
Yeah.
tip off the FBI that, hey, I know this person had something to do with this crime. But anyway, they did arrest this person after 5 years. And so, that's where the fresh set of eyes comes in, Treese. You just get
Yeah.
in a situation where somebody can look at something and say, just spot something that maybe somebody
Just
else has
bam,
missed.
it just hits you,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that'll be great if that happened in this clear case, so that they could find this young woman. I don't want to be cold or anything, but regardless of what happens, so that this father is not wondering.
Yeah, it's sad when you don't have an answer. You need that closure. I think we all need that, and that's in life. You got to have closure. Somebody does something that affects you. You want to know why. Why did you do it? Like, you cannot let that go. I need to understand why. What was your reason? And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I watch so many of these type of crime shows, because I don't get what motivates people to do what they do. And just like I just watched this thing yesterday. I say watched, I actually listened to it yesterday and this morning. Yesterday on the way home, and then this morning, it was a woman who her mom was worth a ton of money, and she was very generous with her kids. She had 3 girls. Well, the mom ends up dead, and the sister ends up dead. Hours apart from each other. And the sister has a rifle in her hand like she killed herself, but the bullet came from the top of the head. Well, forensics and evidence shows that it was the other sister that killed the mom and the other sister because she was trying to get a hold of the mom's fortune. They even have recordings of her pretending to be her mom, trying to transfer out like $500,000 from one account to another. And I'm like, why? What possesses you? Why is money more important than your sister and your mother? It boggles my mind. I don't get it. And I don't have answers, but I'm just like fascinated by that, and then they go, they do everything they can to get away with it. How do you live with yourself is what I don't know. I guess it just.
Well,
drives me nuts.
speaking of trying to get away with something, we have a story about the lady who was arrested for vehicular homicide.
Yes.
And she, there's always more to the story, but it wasn't like it was just an accident that she was involved in, and she felt bad about it, and sat around. No, she took off.
Yeah, she went on the run with her boyfriend.
This happened in Tennessee, this accident, but then she was found in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So she intended to be on the lam,
Yeah. She was
from
like,
now on.
I know they're looking for me. I'm out of here. But luckily they found her. And here's the thing. She was a contestant on The Voice. Like,
Apparently can sing, huh?
Yeah, several years ago. I'm trying to think. Do I have it on here?
No, I don't see the date, but
yeah, she was on The Voice. She was a contestant on The Voice, and woo, they showed a picture of her compared to what she did before. Obviously, she got mixed up in some stuff.
yeah,
But she looks terrible.
pretty rough, huh?
Yeah, she does. She looks
But that's
really,
just
really
one of
rough.
those situations like you were just discussing, though, about what goes through people's minds. I know it's horrible to cause an injury to somebody. But
I stepped on the dog's foot and I apologized for 5 minutes.
you
know
didn't
what I'm
take off
saying?
to
I'm like,
Westfield,
Rooster,
did you?
And Rooster gets on my last nerve. This big dog, he's a big boxer, but I don't want to see him hurt.
Right,
you know?
right.
And then I'm talking to him like he can understand what I'm saying. I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
He may not understand the words, but I guarantee he catches the tone.
Yeah, but that's my heart. How can somebody over here just be like,
Not to make light of, did you say Brewster? What was his name?
Rooster?
Rooster.
Like
Oh, I'm
Rooster
sorry.
Cogburn.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Not to make fun of Rooster, but he's a dog, and then you feel horrible about hurting a dog. Imagine, but this is like I said, this is just a sad case where someone flees and tries to avoid, facing the consequences of their actions.
Taking responsibility. Good morning, Pamela. Susan said, I love true crime. Yeah, I do too. I can't help it. I'm addicted to it. It's like ridiculous how much I that's what we watch. If I'm not watching, if I'm either watching Hallmark or I'm watching true crime. There's like no in between there. It's like one extreme to the other. But poor hubby, he's actually escaped my Hallmark. We come to an agreement that if I'm watching Hallmark, he doesn't want to watch it, so he's going to go in the bedroom and watch TV. And on the other flip side of that is that he likes to watch weird stuff on TV that I'm not even remotely interested in. He's watching this one series, and I'm like, this is dumb. I can't even, and I'm getting in it, but not really in it. I'm just like, what am I watching? And he likes scary stuff and mind twisting stuff, and I'm not interested. So when he's doing that, I go in the living room and watch TV. We just have to sometimes just have our moments where we're not watching the same thing because our interests are completely different. But he will sit and watch Dateline with. He may not sit and watch Hallmark, but he'll sit and watch Dateline 2020 or 48 Hours with me. That we can agree on.
Well, we've started. I don't know what do you call it. I mean, you used to call it binging, but we don't really binge like sit and watch 5 or 6 shows in a row. But we are started watching these different series. And
What are you watching?
Well, the one we're watching now is called Poldark. You heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's a story set back in the days right after the Revolutionary War,
Mm-mm.
and this is a British soldier who goes back to, I guess he's in England, Scotland. I don't know. He's on that coal island that we were talking about that you're
where
from.
I'm from.
Yeah. But it's been a good show.
Yeah. Well, that one that we're watching now, I got actually hooked on it. It's called The English.
Yeah, I heard
Emily
you mention
Blunt.
it.
That's who is in it.
Yeah,
Emily
yeah.
Blunt's
She's
in
about as
it.
English as they come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in it, and I watched last night. I accidentally watched 4 episodes. So.
Hey, well, I mean, if you're going to be watching something, and you were rapping too, so you're probably enjoying them both at the same time.
It was a Snoop Dogg for the kids rap.
But we have watched, gosh,
Yes, Ricky
bunches
says,
of them.
Tamara Hall, she's got her own little thing. She started off on either Dateline or 2020, but
Yeah, I
she's
think
got her
maybe an
own
NBC
thing. And the
lady.
reason she got into that was because her sister was murdered, and I don't know that they ever solved the case. But I like watching her. I like her voice.
Glad I live where I live, and I
And
know
then the
I know
guy-
bad things happen, but
the guy that
at least
looks
not as many.
He's got like white blonde hair and he's got wrinkly face. And his stepson was Matthew Perry. I like watching his voice because he talks like this when he's talking, and then he interviews people and he asks some tough questions. There, he's like, well, you know what people say. People are saying that you
That's
da,
something
da, da,
to do
da.
with this, yeah.
And he says, what do you say to that? I mean, he just point blanks out, did you murder, because if something doesn't make sense to him, you do realize that doesn't make sense. You do realize that what you're saying, so you said one thing and then you said another, and now you're saying one. So which is the truth? Which time were you lying, then or now? He just puts it to him, and I'm like, ooh. Like giddy. I'm like, ooh.
Well,
all right, it is 8:59. That is going to just about do it for us today. Thank you, Mike.
I had a good
Hope
time. Thank you.
We will not be on air the rest of the week. Today is the final show until Monday. We'll be back on Monday. We will have a New Year's Eve show. I'll be here New Year's Eve. I guess you will be.
I guess so.
That morning, because, that morning's not really a holiday.
Provided, that's exactly right.
I won't be able to promise you, I won't be able to sail or do anything until after the new year.
Well, kind of like Christmas Eve, I always thought of that as the evening
Yeah.
for some reason,
But
not
New
not the
Year's
morning.
Eve, we're
So
gonna
it's
do the
fine to go
morning show.
shopping. I'm not late.
Yeah, we're going to do the morning show New Year's Eve. So, I'll be here. And we talked.
Lord willing,
Hubby and
I will be
talked
too.
about. We were like, and Andy too. I was talking about New Year's Eve being next week, and he was like, I don't even know if I could stay awake for New Year's Eve. I said last year we didn't. We fell asleep on the couch watching one of those New Year's Eve specials.
Yeah, the
I
celebration.
woke up like 3 minutes to midnight. Woke hubby up and said, "Hey, it's almost midnight." We watched the ball drop thing. We gave each other a kiss and went to the bedroom and went right back to sleep. We did not. That was our celebration. Woo.
We started watching the moon pie drop down in Mobile. They do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes, they
yep.
do that. I forgot about that.
Yep. It's right across from this historic hotel that we've stayed at several times called the Battle House.
Oh, I've never
It's
heard
really,
of that.
yeah, it's really cool.
Neat.
Right across, I don't know the
Is
building.
that close
it's
to
on.
where the ship,
Well,
sh- no?
yeah, it's close.
Is
It's
it?
right
Okay.
there at the canal, I guess you call it,
All right.
or whatever they
Do they
call
even
it.
have that there anymore? I thought they
Oh
were
yeah,
moving it. Oh,
USS
it's still-
Alabama's
okay.
there, and they have a
Okay.
submarine, and they have an aeronautical
Oh, man. I
museum.
haven't
It's
been to
really
that in a
great. You should go. You could spend all
I
day
lo-
in that
I
thing.
would love to.
You're not
do that.
claustrophobic, are you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, good. You'll have fun in the submarine.
Mike Baker says, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a cold Coca-Cola. Amen to that,
Right.
Mike Baker. Amen
Yes.
to that.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. Spend time with your family. Love one another. Cherish the moments you have.
Don't eat too much.
I say that, don't worry about the gifts, even though that's what I've done now for the past month. Worried
but
about those gifts.
You're at the end of that
What
now.
I was doing yesterday, worrying about that one last gift. I don't want anybody to feel unloved or left out. So, but y'all have a wonderful Christmas, and we will see you back here on Monday. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.